What's up, y'all? I wanted to do a quick range report on my Sig P210. This is the American version, sometimes known as the P210A, and I felt like I had more to say than just 60 seconds on a YouTube short. When I do my interim range reports, I usually just do YouTube shorts because they're quick and convenient, but I feel like this gun and my experience with this gun warrants more than a minute. So here we are. Long story short, I really dig this gun, and I have put about 700 rounds through it now, give or take, and I've had zero reliability issues. I've run all kinds of ammo through it, FMJ, hollow points, P210. Shitty reman, and it runs everything. And I haven't been that diligent about cleaning it. I just make sure the thing is lubed and the thing just runs, and runs like a top. And as you can imagine, this gun is really super duper accurate. And you know, when we talk about accuracy in handguns, in many cases, we're talking about shootability more than accuracy. You know, I think most modern handguns made by quality manufacturers are accurate, and it's just how the human interface allows you to access that accuracy. And certainly the inputs on this gun allow you to access the accuracy, but I feel like there is a certain level of mechanical accuracy that the design of this gun allows you, and it makes shooting precisely to point of aim just very natural, very intuitive, and easy. You know, it's shooting out the 10 ring of a silhouette at 10 or so yards is just effortless and so much fun, and that's kind of why this gun exists, and that's the kind of shooting I like to do, so it is the perfect tool for that. And you know, it's got a very tight lockup. As you can see, it's kind of squeezing in the battery. It cams on the slide stop, and everything's very tight. It's got the inverted slide rails, a long slide to frame contact, and that just allows it to be a very cohesive lockup altogether. And the gun is just very inherently accurate because of all that, because of its mechanics, and it's got a phenomenal trigger. The trigger is very light. I would say it's about 3 pounds, give or take, and you know, firm wall. Well, I wouldn't say firm. It's got a discernible wall, and then it just very little travel, and it just breaks. The hammer falls, and it's very crisp. If I had to describe had to pick one word to describe the character of the trigger, I would say it's delicate. And it's just a very precise, very delicate, almost dainty affair when you're pulling this trigger. I guess the closest comparison would be a 1911 trigger, and I feel like a 1911 trigger still has a bit more feel in the response that you experience when the hammer falls. With this, it's a little more insulated, and again, it has that very delicate, precise character to it. You know, I haven't shot like Pardinis and like really high-end target pistols, but it's toward that, and I'm sure it's not quite on that level, but it's close. And everyone I've heard from, insights online and everything like that, this gun has a really nice trigger. The ergonomics are solid. It's got a pretty swept back grip. I wasn't quite expecting that, but you know, if you look at pictures of these guns, you can certainly see that it is more of an angle than like on a Sig P226 or like a Beretta 92 or something like that. It's honestly pretty close to a Glock, and feels good. I don't have a problem with it. The P210 standard comes with just kind of plain wood grips, and they're really nice. They're really nice grips, and they feel good, and I shot well with them. But I got some of these Piranha G10 grips from Hogue, and also from Hogue. Hogue makes the factory grips as well. And like, as accurate as this thing was with those grips, it's even more so with these grips, because you just get so much more traction to kind of immobilize the gun as you're shooting it, and it is just a bullseye machine. There is one negative, and I'll address it briefly on this video, and that is you may have read about the captured recoil assembly on these guns breaking, and I I read a lot about that as I was kind of researching these guns, and it was one thing that made me a little hesitant because a lot of people, mention having problems with it, and I can tell you firsthand, I've broken 2 of the captured recoil spring assemblies with this gun, so it's definitely a thing. But here's the other thing. It does not impact reliability at all. The gun itself doesn't know or care if the recoil spring's captured, as long as you compress the spring manually and you have that. There's a little washer that holds the spring on the guide rod. As long as you position that in the spring tunnel and then manually compress the spring, the gun runs fine. There's no difference from the gun's perspective on whether the recoil assembly is captured or not. It just makes it a little more of a pain in the ass to reassemble. Stay tuned for the full review, but if you find one of these, it's really not that big of a deal. It's the workaround isn't that big of a deal, and the gun runs just fine with an uncaptured recoil spring, and I will probably continue to run it with the uncaptured factory recoil spring, though there is an aftermarket solution from DPM Springs, which I may look into as well. In any case, really like the P210A. Sometimes the American one is called the P210A, if I didn't mention that. Looking forward to doing the full review, and thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.